way to get ahead of it. And today it seems kind of boring, but it pays off in the end. Maxim number 20. Do not ever reveal the details of your finances to a girlfriend or wife. Avoid getting joint accounts. As a man, you must draw a line in the sand separating money from love. If she balks, dump her. There's a couple pieces in here, and having been married, and there's different rules. Royce, at least when he wrote this, had never been married. And finances take a strange turn when you're literally joined by the state. So this, on the surface, you go, oh, even if you're kind of soft-hearted, you're like, this won't work. When actually it does work, and it almost works by default, and it's easier than it appears. Do not ever reveal the details of your finances to a girlfriend or wife, because what you do learn in game and in our world is women don't really understand the value of money. So even though she may know that she makes like $40,000 or $50,000 a year, she doesn't really know what it means. She doesn't know what the purchasing power of that is, because you can ask a girl, how much, just, and you think I'm joking, but you can test this out. You can go, how much is a pack of underwear? And they'll be like, oh, I don't know, $100. And then you'll go, how much do you think dinner was last night? And let's say dinner's like $200. I don't know, like $100. How much does it cost to fill up a car? I don't know, $100. What's an average income, honey, for a man? Oh, I don't know, like $200,000, $300,000, and this is normal. Most girls have a rudimentary understanding of numbers and arithmetic and that sort of thing, that money, is exchanged for goods and services. But after that, it's really theoretical. There's no hard, logical, this for that exchange. It's why you will not see more than maybe a handful in your lifetime, and I mean like 2 or 3 women that actually build and run businesses by themselves with no input from a mentor, a father, a brother, a guiding male hand, a sponsor, a dude she's fucking who's also paying the bills. That's why you won't ever see that, except maybe if you live long enough, you might see 1 or 2 instances of it. It's very rare. And usually they had fathers who were business owners themselves. But there's not only does it say, do not reveal the details of your finances to a girlfriend or wife. Again, it's not going to come up. Generally they'll go, how much do you make? You go, honey, I make enough to cover the bills. We're in good shape. That's all they want to know. And again, even if you're rich, even if you're wealthy, if she doesn't have access to that money, or you don't spend it, you're pretty frugal, you live a very low middle class life, it doesn't exist to her. To her, you're still lower middle class. That's what you have to understand is like guys, especially like guys that own their own businesses or they're electricians and they just crank the cash and they make most of their money under the table. It doesn't really, especially if he doesn't spend it. If he lives in his parents' house that he grew up in and they've passed away and the house is like worth $70,000 and he lives in his old neighborhood and he drives a used truck, which most people, this is normal. But he has hundreds of thousands of dollars in investments and in cash, but it doesn't exist. To her, since he doesn't spend it and it's not available to her, he has no money. That's the real deal. Avoid getting joint account, checking accounts. Again, something that once you become married becomes more difficult because you do have to mix finances. But again, if the wife doesn't work, there's a secondary account that she can have access to and that you can fill. And it comes down to how you'd be surprised once you start talking to married couples, how many married couples, the wife runs the books. more often than not. And as a man, you just draw a line in the sand separating money from love if she balks dumper. And he really does mean on the end. And I tell guys, don't worry about gold diggers unless you're worth 10 to $100 million and you already know about all this and you know where they go. She's not looking for, if you got 5 roommates and you work at GameStop, you're good, bud. She's not trying to gold dig you, I promise. Generally if you live in Des Moines, Iowa, it ain't happening. But there are little pockets of like in Dallas and in New York City, Miami, LA, Chicago, small pockets. And usually it'll be either like Asian or Russian or Eastern European women. And they tend to know each other and they tend to all go to the same events. And if you are trying to avoid gold diggers, you're going to know what she's there for long before she ever arrives because you're in those circles. Again, smart girls going for the money aren't hanging out with dudes like yourself. 99.9% of the guys that are watching this. So even if you have a good job and, good income, you can keep it private. She only believes you have the value of what she sees. And there's no reason it's going to be very rarely brought up, if ever, as long as you guys are going out doing things. Girls want to at least know that they can pretty much buy things like groceries and pay the rent or the mortgage, and the kids can play sports or whatever without them worrying about a check bouncing or a credit card declining. To them, that's enough. You'd be surprised. It's so very low on girls' totem pole as far as importance. But guys always go, oh, she's with him because he has money. He has money. She doesn't fucking know. So just know that. Maxim number 20, do not ever reveal the details of your finances to a girlfriend or wife. It's probably not going to be necessary. Avoid getting joint accounts. Again, it probably won't become necessary unless you're married. As a man, you must draw a line in the sand separating money from love if she balks dumper. It's a very rare occurrence or occasion.